17. Performance appraisal. So in this chapter, we are going to learn about 4 different divisions. First division, we will be learning about performance management and assessment, the process of performance management. The second one, the purpose of performance appraisal. Why? What is the purpose of performance appraisal? Main components of appraisal, objective of performance review, etc. The third one, the process of performance appraisal, that is overview of the appraisal process, appraisal techniques, the appraisal interview, new techniques for appraisal, follow-up, etc. Barriers to effective appraisal, problems in practice, appraisal and pay. So let's start performance management. So here we are going to start with performance management. The purpose of performance management is to improve organizational performance by ensuring that individuals within it are performing to the best of their ability and developing their potential for improvement. So performance management is somewhere where we are identifying that each and every individual is having a capability, is having an ability to perform well and to their potential, and they are having a potential for improvement also. And there is where the performance management is happening. And there is a step-by-step process for performance management. There are 5-step model. That is step number 1 from the business plan. Identify the requirements and competence required to carry it out. So we have to identify from the business plan what all are the requirements we need and what all are the competencies required to carry the business plan. So how a performance has to be carried out. And on the basis of that performance, we have to give them appraisal. Draw up a performance agreement defining the expectation of the individual or team, covering standards of performance, performance indicators, and the skill and the competence people need. So we have to have a performance agreement wherein like we are defining about the expectations of the individual or team. Third one, draw up a performance and development plan within the individual. So we have to draw up a performance and development plan for an individual, and that plan is ensure that that plan is actually working based on our way of thinking. The areas of performance the individual feel in need of development. Step number 4, manage performance continually throughout the year. We have to manage that performance continually, like it is not stopping somewhere or at any point of time, or like some companies think that if we are actually obtaining one objective at a time and that is done. No, there are objectives on day-to-day basis, and make sure that these objectives are carried out on the day-to-day basis and the performance are continually growing up. There are 3 things. High performance is reinforced by price. Work plans are updated. Deal with performance problems by identifying what they are. We have to understand them. We have to understand their problem. We have to mitigate it. Then only they will be working for us on a proactive way. Step number 5, performance review. That is performance appraisal. At a defined period each year, success against the plan is reviewed, but the whole point is to assess what is going to happen in future. So these all are the 5 things that has to be done from the side. Okay. Now you can see over here, it is essential that people know exactly what their objectives are. So we have to make them understand what the company is talking about the objectives and how we have to actually work for each and every objectives and how they have to actually attain them on a daily basis. These all are the 5 different things that has to be in your mind when you are talking about performance appraisal. Now let's move on to the purpose of performance appraisal. Why a company need performance appraisal? The main components of performance appraisal are reward review, performance review, and potential review. Reward review, measuring the extent to which the employee deserves a bonus or pay increase. Why they need that particular thing? If we can identify that thing, then we can give bonus or pay increase. Performance review, for planning and follow-up training and development programs. We have to give them performance review based on planning and follow-up the development programs. Then potential review, that is aid to planning career progression and succession planning. So these all are the three different things that has to be the main components of appraisal. First, reward should be there. Second one, we have to we have to review their performance. Then we have to review their potential. Okay, now coming to the objectives of performance. Objectives of performance appraisal are establishing what the individual has to do in a job in order that the objective for the section or department are realized. So we have to actually see what are the things that a particular has to do when he or she is actually appraised for a particular job. Establishing the key or main results which the individual will be expected to achieve in the course of their work or a period of time. Comparing the individual level of performance against a standard to provide a basis for remuneration about the basic pay rate. Identify area of improvement, establishing an inventory of actual and potential performance, monitoring the undertaking selection procedures, improving communication about work task between different levels in the hierarchy. So there are different things that are different objectives for a performance appraisal, like from identifying individuals' training and development needs to identifying potential candidates for promotion, identifying areas for improvement, etc. So these all are the objectives that a performance team has to come up with actually. So now the process of performance appraisal, what all are the process and how a process of performance appraisal is working. Okay, so overview of the performance appraisal. There are three basic requirements for a formal appraisal system. The formulation of desired traits and standards against which individuals can be consistently and objectively assessed. So there has to be a standard set. That standard has to be identified so that we can identify that particular person and particular person's trait so that we can easily assess them. Recording assessment, managers should be encouraged to utilize a standard framework but still be allowed to express what they consider important. So managers have the right to utilize a framework and they have to consider the importance and without too much form filing. Last one, getting the appraiser and appraisee together so that the both contribute to the assessment and plans for improvement and development. So if I am the person who is appraising that particular person, we have to get both on board and we have to talk directly to each other and we have to actually identify, okay, that is the problem with this person or this is the problem with that person, etc. A systematic appraisal system can be depicted as follows. Corporate plan has to be there. Purpose of appraisal, that is identification of criteria for assessment. What we have to identify for why we are actually doing this assessment. Assessment by manager. There has to be an assessment by the manager from the interviewer and jointly agreed concrete conclusion. Okay, what is the conclusion we are gaining up? And there has to be a follow-up action from that particular thing. Then job requirement and job analysis has to be formed between that. Now coming to the appraisal technique. Overall assessment, narrative of manager's judgment. So we have to see what all are the narratives of manager's judgment. So there will be a manager who will be assessing the appraisal of different persons who are working in the company. So that will be the overall assessment. Now we have guided assessment, comments by manager and appraisee under specific performance element. So guided assessment is somewhere like where before finishing the that particular objective or task, he will be commenting. The manager will be commenting on the basis of their performance on the work, and they will be actually working, and the performance can be actually improved from there itself. Grading, manager applies a numerical grade against each performance element. So grading is somewhere where on the basis of each and every task, manager will be giving a grade, say for example A, B or C, etc. Behavioral incident method, success or failure based on critical job behavior. So which is behavioral incident method is like they will be seeing the success or failure based on critical job behavior, like whether they are good for that doing that particular thing or not. Result oriented scheme, assessment against specific measurable objective. So they will be overseeing the assessments against specific measurable objectives, etc. Okay, so these all are the 5 assessment techniques used by managers. Now we have self-appraisal, is where we are giving ourselves an assessment based on our performance, etc. Then we have the appraisal interview. Let's see what is the appraisal interview. So we have 3 different style of appraisal interview. One is tell and sell style. That is, the manager tells the employee how they have done and try to sell the evaluation. So tell and sell style is somewhere where the manager is telling everyone and they have to actually accept that. Tell and listen style is the manager tells the employee how they have done and then invites the employee to respond. So there they are giving an open platform to speak up. What is the problem with that performance? Okay, last one, problem solving style. The manager takes the role of a coach rather than appraiser, discussing the problems and helping the employee to find solution. So in the problem solving style, he is acting as a mentor or a coach and he is inviting him to solve by both of them. That is problem solving style. Now new techniques for appraisal. We have upward appraisal. What is upward appraisal? A notable modern trend adopted by some companies is called upward appraisal, whereby employees are not rated by their superiors but their subordinates. The followers appraise the leader. So here the leaders are getting appraised by the subordinates, and advantages of this upward appraisal include subordinates tend to know their superior better than supervisors. So the lower level employees will be getting to know more about the dominating person. As all subordinates rate their managers statistically, these ratings tend to be more reliable. So each and everyone will be getting the chance to appraise their boss. Last one, subordinate ratings have more impact because it is more unusual to receive ratings from subordinates. So they have subordinate ratings also. So that is why everyone is going with the trend. This is actually adopted by modern trend. Now what is the disadvantages? The problems with the method include fear of reprisal, vindictiveness, and extra form processing. Like if I am appraising a person above me and if I am giving a low grade, then that person will be identifying me and he will be making me work under him in a pressure situation. So they are getting fear of reprisals. That is actually a problem with this upward appraisal. Now coming to customer appraisal. In some companies, part of the employee appraisal process include taking into account the feedback from customers. Like you may be familiar when you are going to the mall or any other electronic shop, they will be taking a customer feedback form and you have to fill in some details. That is customer appraisal. 360-degree appraisal, taking downwards, upward and customer appraisal all together. Some firms have instituted 360-degree appraisal by collecting feedback on an individual performance from the following sources. So here the performance from the following sources can be the person's immediate manager, people who report to the appraisee, perhaps divided into groups, etc., peers and co-workers. Most people interact with others within an organization, either as members of a team or as the receivers or providers of services, and can offer usual feedback. Customers and the managers personally. So 360-degree appraisal is where like they are taking the appraisal from everyone. That is like 360, that the persons associated within the company, everyone like suppliers, customers, employees, managers, top level management, etc. Everyone is included in the 360-degree appraisal. What is follow-up? Let's see what is follow-up. After the appraisal interview, the manager complete the report with an overall assessment of potential and the jointly reached conclusion of the interview with recommendation for follow-up action. The manager should then discuss about the report with the countersigning manager, resolving any problems that have arisen in making the appraisal or report and agreeing on action to be taken. The report form may then go to the development advisor, training officer or other relevant people as appropriate for follow-up. So these follow-up are something which is done after the appraisal thing, which is actually done for making that relevant people as appropriate to follow up them. So follow-up procedures may include the following: informing appraisers of the results of the appraisal, carrying out agreed actions, and monitoring the appraisee progress and checking that they have carried out agreed actions or improvement. So these three things like follow-up are done to make sure that these things are carried out, and if they want to actually improve the result, they can do these things. Carrying on agreed action, like they maybe agreed to something and we have to carry out that. Monitoring the appraisee's progress, we have to see whether that particular person has agreed to the appraisee's progress report or something like that. Now barriers to effective appraisal. So what are the barriers to effective appraisal? Let's see. Appraisal as confrontation. Many people dread appraisal or use them as a sort of showdown, a good sorting out or clearing of the air. In this kind of climate, there is likely to be a lack of agreement on performance level and improvement needs. The feedback may be subjective or exaggerated. So appraisal as confrontation is something where like if they are having, say for example, 70% of the performance have met, they will be exaggerating things and they will be showing it off to the different peoples, or it can be as a negative impact also. So that is actually a barrier which we have to break it down when we are talking about performance appraisal. Appraisal as judgment. Appraisal is seen as one-sided process in which the manager acts as a judge, jury or counsel for the prosecution. This puts the subordinate on the defensive. Instead, the process of performance manager needs jointly operated in order to retain the commitment. So in some situation, the employees or the persons associated with this appraisal system is seeing that, okay, am I done anything wrong? Since like I have been put into a situation and I have been actually assessing on a daily basis and I'm getting a performance appraisal form. That is also a barrier. Like that is going into his mind like a negative impact. Appraisal as chat. The appraisal is conducted as if there were a friendly chat without the purpose or outcome. Many managers, embraced by the need to give feedback and set stretching targets, reducing appraisal to a few mumbled. So it is between like some managers think that okay, appraisal is something okay, I can give according to the chat I am dealing with different person. So he will be focusing on different person. If they are not doing any work also, he will be giving good marks or good grades or good performance appraisal, etc. That is also a problem we are facing. Appraisal as bureaucracy. Appraisal is a form of form filing exercise to satisfy the personnel department. Its underlying purpose, improving individual and organizational performance, is forgotten. So bureaucracy is something which has to be vanished off, because someone think that okay, if Manoj sir is doing the performance appraisal, I will be getting the good marks or I will be getting the good clean sheet. No. Like we are actually forgetting about the objectives. We are actually forgetting about the organizational performance. Why we are actually doing performance appraisal? This we are actually forgetting about. Last one, appraisal as unfinished business. Appraisal should be a part of a continuity, future focused process of performance. If we are meeting one objective, done, khalas. Performance is done. Appraisal is also done. The individual is good at doing anything, and after after a period of 6 months, if you do it again, that person has gone out of the entire area. He is somewhere alone, putting up some effort. We have to take it serious when we are actually doing performance appraisal. Last one, appraisal as annual event. Some companies think that, or some companies employees think that okay, annual event as appraisal, because that day everyone will be engaging, filling a form, and they will be engaging in different tasks to encourage or motivate the like top level management. They will be dressing it neatly, they will be coming to work on a timely basis, etc., and they perform it as a celebration. This is also a barrier. This is also a barrier we are facing right now. Okay, appraisal and pay. So how appraisal and pay are related? Another problem is the extent to which the appraisal system is related to pay and reward system. Many employees consider that positive appraisal should be rewarded, but there are major drawbacks to this approach. Fund available for pay rises rarely depend on one individual performance alone. The whole company has to do well. Continuous improvement should perhaps be expected of employees as part of their work and development, not rewarded as extra. Performance management is about a lot more than pay for past performance. So if a person is doing good, we cannot actually increase the pay based on that particular thing. We have to see whether the funds are available or not, whether that continuous improvement is happening. We have to actually see the past performance and we have to evaluate them on the present basis. So, if a person is showing some improvement, don't increase the pay. There has to be improvement happening all along. There has to be improvement happening all along the way. That is appraisal and pay. That is appraisal and pay. Okay. So with this, we are coming to the end of this chapter. Chapter number 17, performance appraisal. This was a small chapter, but it has an in-depth knowledge of a company scenario. And this will be giving you 2 marks again along with ACCA BT examination. So study well, and if you have any doubt, please ping into VGuide app, where you can actually chat with the faculty 24/7. So connect with us. Until the next chapter we meet, this is your faculty Nadeem Muhammad signing off. Study well, prepare for your exam, prepare for your ACCA journey, prepare for becoming an ACCA affiliate. Thank you. Have a nice day.